Do you think Afghanistan and India's tie is a counter of the tie between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, or in particular Pakistan?
Well, frankly speaking, right now, you see, very strange country, Pakistan. It's they have fought 4 days of war, very inconclusive, you see, and in fact, if you see the attacks inside in Pakistan were much more prominently displayed than any attack on the they lost some aircraft, that's part of the deal, but the man was promoted to field marshal, and then he was invited in Washington for a breakfast, and then it was revealed that he and his family members are already American citizens. Now, I do not know of in the past, well, when we are one united Pakistan, any Pakistani officers, even officers, not to speak of the chief of the staffs, were having dual citizenship. No, not allowed at all. Now, the man is already an American citizen, he is also field marshal and he is also Pakistan's army chief. So, you can see that how they have tightly brought them in the grips. So, he can't move much. And about Saudi and Pakistani deal, I would say it is, as you said, like NATO, it's not at all. It is a Saudis, they have brought an army at their doorstep. Because if you see who is Saudi Arabia, who is the enemy? Saudi Arabia's enemy is not, Israel. Saudi Arabia's enemy is sitting on the south, Yemen, and in the north is Iran. Yeah. That's that they are worried. Iran and their proxy in the and Pakistan's enemy is, it was traditionally India, now it has become Afghanistan. Now, don't you ever think that if there is a war tomorrow between India and Pakistan, Saudi troops will come to Pakistan, Saudi aircraft? Never. Maybe they will try to influence on India to persuade them not to push too much. So, this is a year by which already about more than 10,000 Pakistani troops are fighting along with their ex-army chief, forgetting his name, Rahil Sharif. Rahil Sharif is in Saudi Arabia with his whole divisions of troops fighting the Yemenis. The Saudis don't want to die in the terrain. Sorry. So, with this treaty, they are going to have more and more Pakistanis going there, and for Pakistan it's okay because they are going the remittance from the.
Sir, you have raised a very technical and very interesting subject for future for South Asia, including Saudi Arabia and Middle East, connecting that.
Trump, any American president is seriously worried about elimination of drugs in the country, that the best way is to reduce the demand of drugs in the country. You see, by attacking another country and by trying to attack the so-called narco terrorists is not the best way, it's an expensive way. He should address his own home ground, that where the you see why drug happens. Drug has happened because of the social unrest or the desperation, economic hardship. These are all the things that is creating the demand, and if there is a demand in the home, then there will be always supplies coming. It's happening in Bangladesh also. See some of the Scandinavian countries where the drugs are allowed, but there is no drugs there. There is no drug problem there. There is no drug is lying down on the road, you see. So, because they have addressed the social issues there, they have addressed the financial issues there. They have not tried to go for a military or police options, in this thing. So, this is, Trump is actually addressing the, trying to find out a wrong enemy. He is fighting the wrong kind of war.
You have covered that event successfully. I want to hear from you regarding this article. This article has been hugely criticized and hugely accepted as well.
Well, thank you for asking me regarding this issue. I want to add on to what Mr. Ishfaq was saying regarding the drug issue that they commonly try to target. But there are no, the administration there is not looking towards a social reform, if not to look towards juvenile corrections, those who are involved in usage of drugs, and what are the societal requirements for their welfare, if not what are the rehabilitation options. Instead, they are doing ICE crackdowns in a direct confrontation with the people. Of course, this will become a headache for the United States government in the coming days. But according to various media outlets, the Pentagon is now trying to have much more restrictions on what the media can say and cannot say. This of course includes unclassified information, the information that is available to the public. This had intense reactions. Media outlets such as the New York Times, Washington Post, Reuters, AP and CNN has refused to sign this pledge. So this again shows how the media in that nation is being controlled. And of course, if you look at the First Amendment, there is a section called the freedom of press, and the freedom of course, as it says, they can allowed to practice the spread of information throughout the various channels. But one of the things that made Donald Trump very popular right after or before his campaign was his comments regarding him taking over Canada, led by Mark Carney now. And just a few days ago, if not, Mark Carney had visited Donald Trump, and they were, and if you would look at it, he was playing some kind of soft power projection. He was always agreeing to what Mr. Donald Trump says. And in addition, he was also saying his requirements from America for the Canadian people. So much of the remarks that Donald Trump made were more satire and humor towards the people of him taking over Greenland and Canada. But coming back to the regional issues, in his first term, he had made a boundary wall, a border wall, almost about 20 feet high with US's southern. And this time around, it is him cracking down on his own citizens. So he must reassess what he should want to do and how the people should feel before the upcoming midterm elections.
Sir, I want to again come back and draw your attention on the South Asian new geopolitical situation. If I ask a direct question, like Bangladesh is a stakeholder in South Asia, economically growing, politically disruption is going on, but one day new government will come, election will happen, interim will go. What the prospects you see, the contribution or participation of Bangladesh in near futures South Asian geopolitical map?
See, we have, as I said, we have a very important geopolitical position. We are if one has to look at the geography, we are the only land connection between the rest of Asia and Southeast Asia and East Asia. Now, East Asia includes China and Japan. Southeast Asia includes countries such as Vietnam, Thailand, you see, Malaysia, Indonesia. Anybody going trade, you see, whether it's you call it a Chinese initiative or Asian Development Bank initiative, any road or railway connection must go through Bangladesh, and also the sea communications, the Bay of Bengal. So we have a very important role, and that role we can play. First of all, we have to have the political stability in the country. There will be political upheavals, there will be chaos. Democracy means chaos, but that chaos, through that chaos, a national consensus should be built, and a stable economy. Without stability in both in political fronts, social front and the economic front, you can't play any role, because somebody else will play for it if you don't do it. So if we can do that, Bangladesh will become a very important player, has been a player, but not an important player, just because of this our lack of stability. And you see, the 53 years of Bangladesh, we say the same thing about Pakistan when we are part of that. There has never been except once or twice, a constitutional change of government, and especially the institution building, whether you call it political party institution or the National Assembly, this building, or we always call it Louis Kahn's, one of the national icon. But how many of us are interested in that? What goes on there, you see? So starting from the local government to the national government, and the government as a whole, the bureaucracy, there has to be a very positive changes. If that comes in, I think with the we got to get our place in the World Committee, because nobody in the world is going to wait for Bangladesh. Just think of the recently held, I felt myself very small when these Pakistan was there, India was there, Malaysia in this Sharm el Sheikh, you see,
yes.
And all the countries from Morocco to Indonesia and most of the European countries and United States, and of course they were there. But Bangladesh was not represented, and we have been fighting for the Palestinian rights from the day one. We are the one country. Turkey has relationship, Egypt has relationship with Israel, Jordan has been a friend. They have shot down so many
Yes,
Iranian missiles.
Right,
And
sir.
Bangladesh is not represented there. Our students, our university, I was talking to our university students, look, every day you still have that flag. We want Palestine independent. But nobody called you. Nobody even cares. So why have we reached to that stage? We are a nation of 20 million, 200 million people. So we got to understand the world will not wait for you. Our economy, our political, framework, our education. You see, education is now our teachers are on the streets. They are being what do you call water cannon on them. You can't go ahead like this. We got to bring in quickly an elected representative government who can bring in stability, and the long term planning can only start, and we got to do it now. This time there has been Nobel Prize has been declared. University of California, one university has got 5 Nobel Prize this year. Just see our universities, our education sector, what has been the news? Fighting, election, results, this party, that party. There has never been a news on some invention or something, some discovery somewhere.
No research.
No research, nothing. How can you compete with those? 5 Nobel Prize from one American university. So these are, nobody is going to wait, let me tell you. And we will say 30 years back, the difference between Thailand and Bangladesh was not that much. Okay? They were
Sir,
still
if I directly confront with you, who is responsible for this failure?
Responsible is, of course, our political elites, our bureaucracy, people who will, maybe me even, I was a part of the military, you see, and you see everybody fought for themselves, and just for education I can say, because all the time even when I was in the Air Force, the education has been my concern. The people, we have not first of all given enough emphasis. Somebody who is to be an education minister, somebody who can keep the universities under control, okay, no trouble from there, and you see the schools should go as the way it was been going. There has been never major changes, you see, and in fact, as you said, 58%, the dropout rates of the girls has been phenomenal in since COVID-19. It has dropped like anything. The high school graduates have dropped like anything, and the quality, those who are coming out also, the quality, everyone says, you see, there has been many surveys. Our education is now facing a huge crisis. Forget about Singapore or even compared to West Bengal or Assam or Maharashtra, the attainments, you see 5 years education, 10 years education, what do you get out of that? You ask a chap a very basic questions, he can't answer. He can memorize many things, but he can't just answer anything beyond the syllabus, you see. So this is one thing, and then of course the disparity. One of the fundamental issues of Bangladesh, creation of Bangladesh, was the disparity. That's what our grievances were against Pakistan. Now see the disparity within Bangladesh today, between rich and the poor, between the haves and the have-nots, between the classes, between the urban and the rural. So this gap is increasing like anything. Today there was a news that people are selling their agricultural lands to the developers because they are going to get a good price. They are not getting good price from the agricultural products. So you see your rice fields and your
Sir, in short, what would be your bullet advices to the interim government, because country is heading into election?
I am too small to give a bullet advice. I just gave my feelings that we need to get the representative elected governments who must start functioning as a team with both opposition and the government, and bring about some discipline. He said about traffic discipline. Anybody who lands in Dhaka, the airport itself, you see, the traffic discipline, the discipline in the industrial zone. Now you see there are, one of my neighbor is in the NASA group, and he was telling me 20,000 of his workers are without job and he doesn't know how to pay them. And he has to pay. Now they have to bring in maybe some fixed deposit and pay them. But that is like a paracetamol, you can't solve. the industries, this. I think we have the talents, as you said, we have the talents, but we just got to get the job done quickly.